Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again for another one, and this one's extremely interesting because within the last 24 hours, Warren Slater dropped a video on his TikTok account. Seems Warren and the family were visually documenting the steps that they were taking in the mountain, places that they were looking and searching, and I've stumbled across something extremely interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and this could take us a step closer to understanding what happened to Jay Slater. Let's check this out. Warren put this on his TikTok account, which is pretty interesting, showing visuals of Masker Mountain. This is clearly when they were in the process of looking for Jay. And there's some interesting bits that he puts on here. Absolutely beautiful place, though. It's a surprise why Jay never took a picture of himself with that view behind him. He'd rather take a picture in a red blanket holding a cigarette. So we can see, look, the white car, the Airbnb, the bus stop. Seemed like he took pictures of everything, including the car, the bus stop, the literally last location of where Jay would have been. We still don't know if Jay was at that Airbnb. I think a lot of people were starting to believe he wasn't even there. But look there, we've got Brad. Brad's there. Pretty interesting. This is the part I actually want to bring to your attention. This is more or less the destination where Brad would have said Jay went off road. Here we are, Brad sitting there. I'm not too sure when this would have been, whether it would have been within the first 2 weeks or whether it would have been after he had his interview. But what I want to bring your attention to here, ladies and gentlemen, is his trainers. Yeah, that's what we want to look at. Now, if we look on the screen, we can see his trainers. These trainers are called Nike Reacts. Originally, we got told that the trainers that Jay would have been wearing at the Airbnb whilst taking the picture in the blanket would have been TNs. Now, I said definitely not TNs because they're not TNs. Another thing I do want to confirm is Brad does have those same TNs. We see him wearing them at the funeral, same color and everything. However, these trainers that you can see on your screen are called Nike Reacts. These are the same trainers that Brad can be seen wearing sitting on the white stones. The front of these trainers look exactly the same as the trainers that the person would have been wearing with the red blanket. Maybe the ones in the photo with the guy wearing the red blanket are worn out a little bit. You know, he's had his feet in them a couple of weeks or a few months, but they're the same trainers in my opinion. Ones in the photo with the red blanket look identical to the Nike Reacts. The Nike Reacts that Brad is wearing here in this video. I want you guys to look at this picture, comment down below and let me know your thoughts because I think this is pretty compelling. As we do know, the friends have been caught in a lie and I'm starting to think it was Brad who took that picture with the red blanket and the cigarette in his right hand. I was looking at various different footage trying to understand Jay, and one thing I noticed is that he was holding a lot of stuff in his left hand, whether it was a drink, whether it was phone, and I started to think, well, maybe, just maybe, he holds these cigarettes in his left hand as well. If he does, then that can't be him in the photo. Then I found a picture of Jay and Brad together, and they're both holding the cigarettes in their right hand. That put Jay back in the frame. That made me think, well, if Jay's holding his cigarette in his right hand, this picture could still be Jay. But what never made sense to me was why this guy went up to the mountains, decided to take several pictures on his Snapchat, but not one of those pictures was of him showing the landscape of that area. It's such a beautiful place. Why would he not show himself as a memory that he could hold for the rest of his life, that he would post on Instagram or on Facebook to show that this is a part of the world that I've been to? Didn't make any sense why he would take a throwaway picture in such a beautiful location. And now we're at a point where all of this information has come to play. A lot of us are compelled to believe that this is foul play. Like Jay didn't just walk off the cliff. Jay didn't just walk out of that Airbnb and decide to walk the wrong way and walk through a ravine, which literally walked him off a cliff. Something more happened. And at the simple fact that we can't find any factual evidence to prove that he was alive after that festival, I'm starting to believe that something happened to him shortly after that festival. Maybe behind on the beach, but close by to that festival, something would have happened. And that's when they started covering this all up. It means any photo that Jay put on his Snapchat was fabricated. The one with the watch, the one with the blanket, the landscape picture, it was all fabricated. It was to make it look like Jay was still alive at that point, so it fit the narrative that they are ultimately pushing and trying to sell us. The timeline has changed for a number of the characters involved in this story. And the reason why the timeline has changed because they keep tweaking it to try and fit the narrative. Chris Tenerife claims that it only took 30 minutes to get from the Airbnb up until the point where Jay walked off road. However, when Warren Slater took the same trip, it took him 1.5 hours, just to the part where Brad said Jay walked off road. It took them 1.5 hours, allegedly. So again, the timelines and the times given don't make sense. Let's take a look at the rest of this footage. There is some interesting clips here. Some interesting clips. Look at this place. Firstly, I believe that to be Brad's mum. I mean, she's been all over this since the very beginning, controlling and dictating the narrative. Some people might say she's heavily involved here because she wants to make sure that she stays on top of everything. If she stays on top of everything, it means it makes it a lot easier to protect her son, Brad. But this is weird. What have they found here? Some sort of like little hut, little house? It's dirty. It looks like someone could have been staying there. Someone could have been sleeping there. What is this? Look, loads of water bottles there. What's going on? What is this? We've got the cactus. So maybe that hut. Hey, remember there was a hut that was in the ravine, and then Chris basically said it's near the pine tree. So I think there was a hut somewhere near the pine tree. Maybe that was that hut. I don't know. But based on what we just see there, it looks like someone's definitely been living there. What doesn't make sense to me at this point is why Warren Slater would release this footage. Why would he release this footage? Is this his way of saying that he still has questions? Keys. Keys. Whose keys are these? I mean, we don't know. Are they keys that they found? He's taken a picture of them. They must be significant. They must be important. Look at this, like a cave. Look at that. It's like a little cave, got chairs and that there. So that's clearly Zach in front of him. And this is definitely footage from Warren Slater. And I had people online telling me, that's not Warren Slater following you. You wish it was Warren. Stop hating. Stop hating. Seems to me that Warren still has questions. Guys, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on what we've just discussed in this video. Extremely interesting. Those trainers, they look like Brad's trainers to me, and they definitely don't look like TN's. But I want to know what your thoughts are. Make sure we hit the like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we are new. Turn the notification bells on so we don't miss out on future videos. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.